just like you said,
everyone's time, and let's get started. First of all, thank you guys for being on another night. Many of you guys reached out to me last Thursday night, and you guys wanted some more rules and mechanics, topics. I personally myself love the our speakers and stuff on Thursday night. So we decided to add this other night. I just got off a Zoom with Joe West, and that was pretty awesome. So that guy's gonna break the record for most umpire the most baseball games. He had some great stories. He's actually still going. So, so we're gonna get together. We'll have to find, as you guys know, there's other sports other than baseball. So we kind of got to work around. Okay, so we're not gonna say that we're gonna do this every Monday night. So I'll get with Dana and we'll find a night that's gonna work. There's football webinars going on. There's soccer webinars, softball, volleyball, basketball. So we'll find a night that works and we'll set it up and we'll send the information out. So Dana, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us one more night. I see you every night on the Zoom, but I know you love it.
My pleasure. I enjoy it.
So we're gonna do something different today, guys. Dominic and I are gonna cover two rules. Okay. We're gonna show some video. We're gonna do some polls. We're gonna do some experimenting here with the way we can show videos and get some feedback from you guys, the crowd. So we'll try and focus on a rule and a mechanics, or we'll talk about just different mechanics. I have reached out to many guys to see if they can join us. As you know now that everyone's catching on to the Zoom world, everybody is busy doing Zoom. So when I get the response back, we'll set up a nice mechanic session and things like that. So I asked Dominic Toledo tonight. He is going to cover the force plate slide rule, and then I'm going to cover hit by pitch. So the force plate slide rule is going to be nice and interactive for us. We are experimenting with the whole poll thing, so I didn't put any questions and videos, with a hit by pitch, but we'll be able to have some discussion. So we have about 19 guys here, guys and gals. Sorry, Christina, I always forget. If you guys have questions, please ask. I do always like to remind when we're going to show video that we are not going to sit here and say like, oh, that umpire missed a call. That was wrong. Many of these guys are college umpires and MLB umpires. So we're not going to sit here and talk bad about them. They're our brothers. But we can talk about, possibly other ways of doing things or, different outcomes of the decisions that were on the place. Okay. So I think Dana muted everybody good. Dana, if you can unmute Dominic for me, please also. So if you guys have questions, guys, just ask your question in the chat and then we'll bring you in, or you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay. But we're just not going to, have a free for all and have everybody talking at the same time.
And Hector, I switched you to the admin, Hector, so I can't unmute Dominic, and now you can do the polls because I have no idea how. So.
Okay, got it.
You're the admin now.
Dominic, are you unmuted?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so when you guys reached out to me on Thursday night and Friday morning, one of the things that we always see, the first couple weeks that I was out watching games is how many times we miss the force plate slide rule at second base. So we're going to break it down. Dominic's going to go over the rule. He has different slides. And then we're going to show videos, and then you're going to decide if you would call a forced play slide rule infraction or not. And then we'll discuss about it. Okay. So you guys got to bear with me here. Like I said, this is the first time we're doing this poll and video thing. So I got to go from one place to another. So I appreciate you guys.
All right. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, you're good, Dom.
Right. So for those of you guys that don't know me, because I know there's a lot of people on here that I am unfamiliar with. My name is Dominic Toledo. I umpire here and I live in Rio Rancho. I'm from Bernalillo. Last year I was the president of the Central Group. I've been umpiring high school baseball for, I think this would have been my 8th year. So a lot of the information I got is the way I look at a rule, the way I look at, especially a rule like forced play slide rule, is based on what I've learned from other umpires. You know, I tried to get to as many clinics as I can in the off season. The first clinic that I went to is a Jim Evans clinic where I learned a ton of information, and that was because the Central Group was able to. They had a scholarship and they were able to put me through. So based on that, I've learned, you know, going to Jim Evans, is that knowing the rule. If you know the rule and you know what you're looking for, you're going to have a lot more confidence on the field. So with that being said, like I said, the stuff that I've learned about this rule have come from guys respectable guys that I really respect in clinics, guys that are College World Series guys, college signers, college D1 guys that were in our Central Group. So that's kind of the experience that I bring with me, and that's what I try to learn from a lot of guys like that. So I'm not going to make up anything. I'm going to give you straight from the rule book, and then I'm going to just break down exactly what I see in the videos that Hector has. So what I want to do is I want to go straight to the rules. So we're going to go, Hector put together a slideshow for us. So I want to just go over the rule. Yeah.
Dom, can you hear me? Guys, if you guys can, because I'm on the screen, sharing this screen, if you guys can please mute yourselves, guys, please mute yourselves so we don't have background noise.
Okay, so I'm just going to go through this real quick, so that way we got a basis of what the forced play slide rule is. And just one more thing. I mean, forced play slide rule, for me, I love forced play slide rule. For one, it's a safety rule, but for number two, it's not one of those rules that we don't see very often. Like, you're only going to see once every 5 years. You know, if you know what you're looking for on forced play slide rule, it's a call you should be able to make probably like every 4 or 5 games if you see it happening, right? And you know what you're looking for. So also, it's one of those rules too. If you have evaluators watching you on the field and you're not calling this, even if you're not getting shit from the coaches, nobody comes out and gives you anything or tells you anything. If you don't pick up this rule, this is one of those things that's gonna hold you back from like maybe getting into a state tournament, moving on to getting a state championship game or something like that. If the guy's watching, you know you could pick this kind of stuff up, that's gonna be huge for you. So the first thing, we got base runners' responsibilities. Runners are never required to slide. Obviously, we know that. But if a runner elects to slide, it must be a legal slide. A legal slide can either be feet first or head first. If a runner slides feet first, at least one leg and buttocks shall be on the ground. So hopefully we'll have some video that kind of shows that. I know there's a lot of times where we see a runner slide in and he doesn't have his knee on, he has maybe his knee on the ground, but his butt's in the air, and they kind of get into a little bit of a collision. So if you see that, that's an illegal slide. He has to have his butt and his leg on the ground as he's sliding into that base. This is another one in high school. I see it happen so often, and this is one that we need to pick up because this is definitely a safety rule for us. So runner may not pop up into the fielder. If the double play already happens and the shortstop's already crossed the bag, he's already thrown the ball to first base, the the batter runner or the R1 slides into second base and then he pops up and there's nothing happening because it's behind him, that's nothing to worry about, right? But if the shortstop or the second baseman is coming across the bag and the kid slides into the bag and then pops up into him, just like this picture does a good example of showing it, and Hector has a good clip of one a little later on. That's a forced play slide rule. That's definitely forced play slide rule. That's definitely illegal in high school baseball. If you watch the pros or you watch college baseball, that's legal. You'll see that kind of stuff. But in high school, that's illegal. So we need to get this. Runners may not have the leg raised higher than the fielder's knee. So if he's coming in, his foot is below the knee, he's good. If he picks up that foot and he's slashing at the second baseman or the shortstop, whoever's coming across, or the third baseman, wherever this play is taking place at the plate, if it's a forced play at the plate, his foot's coming in higher than his knee, that's an illegal slide. So that's a forced play slide rule. We definitely need to get that. Except at home plate, runners may not slide through or beyond the base. So this is one that I like to look at. If you think about a second baseman or a shortstop coming to cover second base, and instead of coming through the bag to first base to turn that double play, if you see them, sometimes you see them catch the ball at the bag and they step back towards center field or towards left field. Sometimes you see them take the play backwards instead of coming through the bag. And now you got a runner sliding through the bag and taking him out, just like in this picture. That's forced play slide rule. In the pros, they can do that. In college, they can do this. So if we're watching this on TV, it doesn't get called. But in high school, if he's coming through the bag and he's making contact and affecting the play, then we got to call that. We got to call forced play slide rule on it. And this is one of those ones coaches are going to get upset. They're going to be pissed off, especially because we're starting to get more turf fields. And this is a lot more common to see a kid sliding right through the bag. But if it does affect the play and it does interfere with that shortstop or that second baseman, then we do got to call it also. And this is also another one of those ones too. If he's already turned the double play, then the kid's coming in behind him and it doesn't affect the play, slides to the bag, there's no reason to call anything there, right? You don't want to grab the shitty end of the stick on that. But if the play's actually happening and the guy's sliding through the bag, the runner's sliding through the bag, we need to get that. Yeah, and we're definitely going to hear a lot of flack from a coach on that. But that's why it's important to know these rules and know the rule verbiage, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. Runners may not slide away from the base in a direction of the fielder, but a runner may slide a direction away from the fielder to avoid making contact or altering the play of the fielder. So if you have the shortstop just like the picture, he's turning the double play to the outside of the bag, and the kid is sliding right into him or going at him, that's an easy one to call. We need to get that. By rule, and I think the rule's coming up next, that R1 or that runner has to slide directly into the base. That means his whole entire body. That means his feet, his shoulders, his chest, everything has to go directly into that bag. He can't have his feet into the bag and then his body out to the side coming at him. Everything has to go straight into the bag. However, if this, like in this picture here, if he was sliding here and the shortstop coming across is on the inside of the diamond, we don't got nothing, right? He's avoiding it. If he's not sliding directly into the bag, but he's opposite the fielder where he's not affecting anything, there's nothing to call. Another one on this, if that shortstop's coming, and this is one that I see a lot that doesn't get called too, and in my opinion, and this is just what I've heard from a lot of guys at higher levels have said, make sure we get this called. If you see a kid coming in and he's going straight to the bag and the shortstop's coming straight across the bag, right? So you got the runner coming straight into him, and then he ducks down his head and he bends at the waist, but he's still going straight towards where the shortstop is. That's interference. We gotta get that called. That's one that doesn't get called very often, and because we think, well, he's trying to avoid it. He's trying to avoid the fielder. The rule clearly says a runner may slide in a direction, or he must go in a direction away from that fielder. So you can't just bend at the hips and expect the shortstop to throw over his head to first base. That's still interference, and we still need to get that. And that's one that we think I mean, I thought this for a long time myself. I personally thought if he bends at the waist, well, he's trying to avoid it, right? But the fact is that he has to avoid it by getting away out of the way. He can duck at the waist as long as he's getting out of the baseline away from the fielder, right? The fielder's on this side, he can duck away and go the opposite way. That's nothing. But if he's going straight into the bag, standing up, just bending at the waist, we got to get that. All right. This is a great picture. So you see where second base is, and you see the gray area, right? If the fielder is sliding, if the runner is sliding, he needs to be right in between where that base is, where you see the white. He can't be in the gray area. He can't have his feet right at the base and then his body in the gray area, right? He can't have his feet in the base and his body in the gray area. That's still going to be interference. Now, if he slides, if you look at the screen and he's where on your left-hand side in that gray area, and the shortstop's coming across on the right-hand side of the gray area, then that's nothing, right? So, but if that shortstop or that second baseman is coming straight across the bag, his whole body needs to be going straight into that bag in order for it to be legal. And if he's not, we need to call force play slide rule. We need to call interference. A legal slide, I think we already talked about this. Yeah, let's go past that. All right, so this is just to reiterate, just to go over again what we just talked about. I'm not going to go over it again. Just make sure that we, if you look at like the first one, the runner uses a rolling crossbody, a pop-up slide into the fielder. So that's rule book terminology, right? So if you have the kid sliding in with his feet towards the bag and his body is rolling and taking out the shortstop, that's kind of a rolling or crossbody slide, right? So when the coach comes out, what did you have on that? Well, I had a rolling. He had a crossbody slide, coach. What do you mean? Well, he didn't slide directly into the base. So those are, those exact little phrases are important to kind of memorize and put in your toolbox. So that way when the coach comes out, you just give them those small little phrase of the rule and let them know what exactly happened. All right. Okay, any runner is out when he does not legally slide and causes illegal contact and or legally alters the action of a fielder in the immediate act of making a play and or forced play, does not slide in a direct line between the bases. A runner may slide in a direct way. Okay, we already kind of talked about those. So just another thing too, and I know a lot of you guys on this call, I know a lot of you guys already know most of this stuff, but I think this is stuff that we need to really take back and teach our other people, because if we get a lot more consistent on these rules, on how we're enforcing this, it's going to make it a lot easier for everybody else. Because, I mean, we know at the high school level, kids don't understand these rules. So if we're enforcing it consistently, all of us are enforcing it consistently, especially like the bending at the waist, the runner bending at the waist, and making them avoid and getting that interference, we're going to see a lot less of it. So just how do we call, what's the proper mechanic when we're dealing with interference? Let's say, I mean, I'm going over everything at second base, but this is applicable to any base if it's a force play, right? So it could be happening at third base, guy at the plate. We see it the most often at second base, obviously. So what's the proper mechanic when we see that? It's interference, correct? So if we have a runner on first base and we have the force play slide rule at second base, the first thing we do, I mean, the basic way to make that mechanic is we got to point it, right? So first thing we want to do is that's interference. Time, that's interference. He's out, and then we point to the runner at first base, because if it's a possibility for a double play, we got a double play, right? So he's out, he's out. So again, that's just going to look like, and don't be afraid to be loud. That's interference. Time, that's interference. He's out, or she's out, whatever we got, right? Another way to do that, and that works out good. The only problem that I have with that mechanic, and that's the basic mechanic. That's the basic way that they teach in pro school or wherever you go to, that's the basic way they're going to teach it. There's some other things that I like. One way that I like to do it now is what I'll do is I'll point it, that's interference, and I'll call it, right, at second base. Then I'll let my head glance over to the runner at first, and if they bang him out at first and they still turn the double play, then there's no reason to call time now, and then if there was nothing going on, right? If there was no runners on base. This is just if there was only like a runner on first base. So that's interference. Check it, he's out, then there's put it away, there's nothing else going on, right? Or if that's the third out at first base on the double play, if that's the third out, that's interference, boom, they got it out. There's nothing else. Now, the coach, and what I've had too is when I've done that, a coach will walk by and be like, well, what'd you call over there? And I'll just let him know. I had interference, coach. Well, what did you see? Well, your kid popped up into the shortstop. Okay, well, why didn't you stop it? Well, that out was already recorded. There was no need for it, right? Or the other benefit of doing it that way, is that when you got him sliding in, you called it, that's interference, and they got the out. Now you don't have to be part of the game, right? If there's nothing else going on, why call time and bring attention to yourself, right? And now say you're out, and you're out when everybody already knows there's a double play. So you can just let it go and nothing's going on, right? Now if you see and then you see the outs, then you see safe at first, time, that's interference. He's out, you're out. Nice and loud, so that way everybody knows. That way everybody knows what you got. Any questions on those?
Yeah, Christina, did that answer your question? I know you asked it right before that. Let's see, Dom, didn't you say that the call time prior to calling interference?
No, I point it first. That's interference and point it. And then if you're just doing it the basic way, then you could call it. That's the way I was taught. That's interference, time. That's interference. You're out. You're out. And then that way, if you do it the other way too, because it kind of just allows you not to interject yourself. That's interference. Boom, boom, he's out. Boom. Okay, let me walk to the outfield.
Hey, so there's some discussion, Dom, and we'll have to move on because there's a lot. I know we have a lot of film to see, but there's discussion on. Of course, we're covering a two-man system right now.
Right.
Primary responsibility is base umpire. Secondary responsibility is a plate umpire.
Okay. So you're that plate umpire and there's just a runner on first base, get up there and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to take that back end if you see something because, the umpire on the field is going to have to turn with that play for a two-man system, right? You have to turn to make the call at first base. So if you're that plate umpire, don't be afraid to get as far as the play will allow, right? If you get out towards the mound, that's even better. Get out towards the mound, get set. And if you see it and you do have something, don't be afraid to come up over the mound and come across the mound. Time, I have interference. He's out. You're out. So, yeah, plate umpire, come up and get that back end of that for sure.
All right, guys, let's see. Okay, so we kind of covered the penalty already. Remember that, it's called time and then runners are going back to, their previous base at the time of pitch. Okay. So let's see. Let's get into the interesting thing here. Let's see if we can. Okay, so I'm going to show the video, and then I'm going to go back to I have it here, okay? So I'm going to start the poll now, and you're going to either answer, yes, I got force plate slide rule infraction, no, I don't, or you got nothing, okay? Simple as that. I'll show the play a couple times, and then everybody will be able to see the poll here, hopefully. Oh, it's all together. So let's see. Can you guys see the poll? Okay, so now let's see if I can bring up my video here. Can you guys see the video? Okay, so were you guys able, Christina, give me a thumbs up, or Dom, if you were you able to take the poll? Okay. Did you guys, so what did, Dom, if you can do me a favor, I can only see the poll, so yeah, can you, what did everybody have on that?
Yes.
Everybody went yes? Okay, so
Uh,
did we have a no on that one?
No, it didn't score. I think we have to, the way it's set up is we have to take, do all of them, I think, and then submit it at the end.
Oh,
I think that's the
okay.
way I don't think we could do one at a time right now.
Okay, all right. Sorry, guys. Like I said, you know, I'm learning how to do this. So, but you still see the poll, right? Okay, so let's go to force play number 2.
You might have to submit the poll.
Redo the poll because I think that once we hit submit, it went to the actual, the result. So if you can redo the poll, please.
All right, let's see here. Is it back up?
There it is.
Good. Okay, so I won't touch it anymore. Okay, here we go. Force played video number 2. Okay, so let's talk on that one. Who just kind of, I know we're doing the poll, but I wanted to talk about that specific one because in high school, who had a force played slide rule infraction on that one? You guys can, if you guys can
Right
shake
there,
your
I
hands.
have a force play slide rule on that.
Okay.
On a pop-up slide, just as he was releasing the ball, he altered the throw.
Okay, thank you, John. That's what we wanted to get to, because that was important. In high school baseball, they cannot pop up like that and make contact. So if you got that one as a force plate slide rule, good job. We're gonna call that one all the time. Is the poll still up? Okay. All right, now we're gonna actually go into a series, okay? And I'll pause it every time, but now we're gonna look at some plays. So I got 5 plays in, back to back to back, okay? Oh man, this is fun trying to manage all this stuff. Here we go, let's see. Guys, if you have questions, we'll get to them here in a minute. Sorry, I can't look at the questions and do this at the same time.
Robux.
And my son asking me questions. This is play 4. Play 4 on the poll. Okay, so hopefully you guys all took the poll. Does somebody want to come in and say somebody who had obstruction, interference on that one? What are you going to tell the coach? By rule, what did that runner do?
Impeded the fielder's throw.
How?
It was a pop-up slide.
Yeah.
Pop-up slide, and did you guys see his right hand? His right hand went up,
Yep.
right?
I did, Hector. I did see his right hand, and that would be my ruling. Was he put his right hand in the way of the throw?
Yeah. Let's see here. Sorry, let's see.
Which I think was caused in essence by the pop-up slide.
Yeah, so you guys can see the second baseman kind of, repump, and then he couldn't throw on that first one because the guy, he stopped his hand.
Yeah, that's a Rio Rancho move right there.
We'll get it every time, Drew.
Easy,
Yep.
Drew.
How about his body? How about his body? On
Tell
that?
him the
Is he-
truth, bro.
Is he sliding directly into the bag on that? His body sliding directly into the bag?
He slid directly into the bag on that. The ruling on that, Dom, was that they actually got his hand. This was a college game, so they didn't get the pop-up slide because that's legal, but they got his hand up interfering.
So that's a good point to make, just real quick. That hand, how many times do we see, they're taught when they slide to throw their hands up in the air, right? But there's a difference between throwing your hands up in there and sticking your hand up to interfere, right? So if you have a kid sticking his hands up to interfere, that's interference too, right? So that's a good point. That's another one that I don't look for it because I assume, they're throwing their hands up to slide into the base. But I mean, there's some when he's not just like putting his hands up to slide, he's throwing his hands up. We could get interference on that.
Well, the objective was to impede the throw.
Correct.
Right.
All right, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play 6 on the poll?
I think we're at 5.
Play 5, all right.
Can I ask you a question about this play, Hector?
Yeah.
In D1, is it illegal to make contact in front of the base?
Hey, Drew, let's talk about that afterwards, okay?
All right, that's fine.
Sorry, man. Okay, so Dominic covered Dom covered a good point on when he was going over the slides. You get this a lot. Are guys required to slide? Okay, so this is an interesting one. So I'm curious to see what you guys are gonna think. Okay, who's gonna have force plate slide rule here?
I have it.
The plays at the plate.
Oh,
Oh, my goodness. That's a foobar.
Well, in high school baseball, they're required to slide.
They're not required to slide in high school baseball.
Just have slide legally.
True.
I got nothing on this one, Hector.
Yeah,
I got
it's
nothing.
bad catching.
He avoided contact.
Okay, so those of you guys who voted and said I got nothing, that is correct. Absolutely nothing. The runner
What
did
if,
nothing.
sorry.
Runner did nothing wrong here.
yeah, I have nothing on the home plate call. What play was that? Because I'm all combobulated with the
That was
poll
number
now.
6. Number
What
6.
about on that one? On that same play, what if that was a good throw right to the catcher and he's stepping on the bag, and then as he's turning to make that throw to first base, the guy bumps him. The runner comes in the same way, chest to chest with him. Now do we have force play slide rule? On that one, it's more of a tag, right? Because the throw pulled him up and he was going
Yes.
for a tag.
Yeah.
But what if he's set up on the plate and he's catching the ball and he's getting ready to turn to first base and the guy just stands into and runs into him?
That would be interference.
Could probably have
I have
obstruction
interference.
too.
Interference.
Blocking
Correct.
the plate without the ball.
Well, no, that would be obstruction.
Yep.
Yeah, I would call it, Dom.
Yeah, interfere, right? That's force play side rule. Because now it's a force play, right? He's taking the play on the bag. The guy's making contact with them. Same thing if we had runners on first and second, it was at third base. If R2's coming to him and he's standing up and taps him while he's making a play, that's still a force play slide rule, so we do got to get that one, right? So that changes
Yeah,
that one a little bit.
He's impeding the fielder from making a play.
Correct.
All right. I'm not even going to tell you guys what play we're on because I'm confused myself because of the numbers here. But this is play 7? Okay, play 7. Here we go. Question number 7.
West.
Okay, so on that one, if you guys look at the slide, he slid to the right of the bag. So on that one, the force played slide rule was missed. That should have been a force play slide rule infraction.
Really?
Did everybody have that?
Yes.
Hector, to tell you the truth, I
Looked
didn't
like
have
he was
that.
in center field.
So let's, I'll go see if I don't want to mess this pretty, okay? But look at the last couple, look at where he slides.
I agree with Dwayne. It's a difficult video on that one
Yeah. I mean,
because I have the fielder
look-
clear of the slide before he comes up on the slide. And,
yeah. I mean, if you see here, look at where he's at.
Oh, I see the pause there. That he's sliding
all
the field. Now with that still like that in real time, I don't have it because I didn't see that going to the right side of the bag. With that pause there, now I see him sliding to the right side of the bag, so you have to call it.
Yeah, and again, you know, we're lucky because we're looking at video right now.
Right.
And they're using a
if
4-man
you're-
system or 3-man system. In a 2-man system, this might be a better one for the plate to come up behind and help out and grab this, right? Because U1 is going to be already starting to turn with that. He has to get turned to the first base, so you might not catch that as easily as the plate guy coming up.
Good call there, Dom. Yeah, again, there's not a lot of high school film out there, so we are using, you know, college and pros, and you know, you're going to see 3 and 4 umpires, which is nice. But just, you know, I just wanted to kind of put it in our minds a little bit.
Looks like it doesn't affect the play.
Doesn't matter. We're getting that. Remember, it's a safety thing, Drew. So we're gonna get that all the time.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Did he slide
Okay.
directly into the bag on that one?
No, he slid to the inside, Dom.
That would be like a barrel roll, correct?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to show you guys this play twice. If you guys are wondering what I did all day long today, I got to play with all these videos. Okay. So this is a really good friend Luis Villalobos, D1 Mountain West umpire, WAC. And this call here was in the conference tournament championship in the RMAC last year. Okay. And I want you guys to really, you'll be able to see it more on the second one, but let's see if you see it here in the first one. Remember, it can happen at any bag. It doesn't have to be second base. So we got runners at first and second, no outs. I'm going to turn the damn commentators off. Sorry.
Looks like he reached out and grabbed his leg.
Okay,
That's
so
me.
don't throw up when you see this video, because I was filming and trying to get close up, so it's going to kind of go everywhere, but you guys are absolutely right. You know, you'll be able to see it here in this video. And this is the best I could do, guys, but look at the runner's left hand.
Is there any way to make it a little larger?
No, this is it. Sorry, because I messed with the whole zoom in thing. You'll be able to see it here in a minute.
Is his body sliding and is his whole body sliding a direct slide into the bag?
Correct. And with his left hand, he actually tripped the third baseman. So this was a huge call. Bottom of the eighth inning in the conference tournament, guys. And I'm telling you, this elevated this umpire. Of course, you know, Dom and I were talking this morning in a two-man system, two umpire system. Sorry, Christina. You know, the most of the time, I think the base umpire is gonna think that they're gonna, you know, gonna throw really hard for that guy for us to get that call at third base. Dom, will you help out here as the play guy, maybe?
I'm not, because with the runner on first, I think there was a first and second there.
First and second, yeah.
Plate umpire staying home, so you're gonna be back behind the plate on this, right? So I can't see myself unless it's obvious and you like see his hand coming out and grabbing him. It's super obvious to you and it gets missed. I think you can I wouldn't come out maybe firing and being like time, but I might call time and be like, hey, we need to get together with my partner and get together with my partner on the field and let's discuss it. And then if we make that call, then you know we change that call and get it there. But
hey, Hector, in high school,
just come firing out and make that call.
Hector, in high school, I'll go one step further. You might be able to get MC out of that because he intended to. That was malicious. You don't think so?
I'm not gonna get that.
I'd actually say in high school it's an easier call to grab that barrel roll and not have to worry about the hand. Because as soon as, if you look, when he turns his body, he is no longer directly sliding at the bag with his body on the ground. And in a two-man where you don't have that luxury of the extra guys here, look at the body. As soon as that body turns in a slide by high school rule, you got it. You don't even need the hand at that point, Hector.
Yeah.
Correct. I agree.
We have a much easier time in high school getting this rule than college. It is much more black and white in high school.
All right, so let's see if this thing works for us now. Everything was answered. So let's end the poll. So only 3 people voted. Is that right?
I tried to keep up with it. I don't know if I got them all, but I tried to keep up with it.
All right, well, we'll have to play with it next time again. Or maybe 3. All right. Well, that was a good, and we made it easy, just yes, no. But I mean, that one, we were concerned with play, the hand going up. That was the one that I thought we were going to get the most talked out of because we don't call that in high school very much. But Dom, anything else to add to force play before I move on, brother?
Just if there's any questions.
Uh,
I mean, I didn't get to read all the questions in the chat either, so if you have
yeah,
a question that didn't get answered,
We
I
have a
want to
lot-
bring it up now.
a lot of comments. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is Gil Cartagena. Can you go back to that one at the home plate, please? That play at home plate. And the reason I'm asking is this. We're talking about, is it interference?
You know what?
Like
I can't go back to it because I closed it already.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's okay. But don't we have a rule where the catcher cannot block the home plate until he has a control of the ball? That's what I want to find out. When did he take control of the ball, and when did the ball was in his glove to when he started tagging, and something like that? If the runner runs into him or slides, it could be a catcher interference blocking the base without the ball. Obstruction. Thank you.
I can see that.
That's why I was asking. Can
Yeah.
we go back to it? But
Yeah. So
Well, but if it's a force play, you're talking. It's not about being on the bag before he gets to throw. If he's fielding the ball on a force play, he just has to give a clear path.
correct.
He
But
can be making contact with the plate.
Exactly. I know what you're saying there, but I'm
Yeah.
just if something like that, where you can get malicious contact also, and I know you're saying force play, and I forgot about it was a bases loaded.
yeah, it was.
So, but I'm saying in this case here, if it was a hit the right field, left field with man on first and second, in that case there, where did he can take control of the ball before he blocked the base?
Correct. Yeah, we can. Yeah, I can see that. If it's not a yeah.
Maybe that's one that
I mean,
we
we'll
can
we'll look.
do
We'll
next time.
yeah, we'll put that
Obstruction
down
of
and
play
let's talk
stuff.
obstruction. Thank you for bringing that up. All right, guys. So let's move on. Let me see if I can move this thing out of the way so I can. So let's talk about hit by pitch. Okay. So if you have the rule books, Rule 7.3, a batter shall not. Okay. Article 4, permit a pitch ball to touch him. What does this mean, to permit a pitch to touch him? Okay. Penalty. Okay, the batter at bat, the pitch will be judged a ball or a strike, depending on its location at the time of contact, unless it's ball 4 or strike 3. So, when I'm the plate umpire and I see a guy that comes with freaking all his gear here and his elbow and stuff like that, my antennas go up right away, especially if he crowds the plate. Because now you see, a lot of guys, and we're going to look at it here, lean into the pitch and things like that, okay? So it's happening a lot in high school now. And we'll talk about it here in a minute, but, we got to ask yourselves, I know the easier for me, and I have actually called 3 guys out on this, is did the ball hit the batter or did the batter hit the ball? Think of it that way, okay? And I know we're going to have some disagreements here in the plays on some of them, but that's what you got to think of, okay? So hit by pitch philosophies, there needs to be an overact by the batter. Intent is the best way to judge that, okay? Again, did he hit that ball, okay? The batter is unable to react to certain pitches. This is referred to as freezing, okay? If a guy throws a fastball, okay, and the kid just freezes there inside and he gets hit in the middle of the back, he can't do anything about it, okay? Our common sense should tell us, hey, we're not going to reward the pitcher here and keep this kid here. We're going to send him to first base, okay? Does that make sense? And you'll see it here in a couple of videos, okay? you can, it's easy. I think it's getting easier for me, I should say, to see somebody, I call it chicken wing it, okay, or roll their knee, than somebody just, you know, kind of doing this. I mean, you know, you can, I don't know, coaches coach all kinds of different ways, but you'll be able to see it here in the videos. And then another philosophy is when in question, award the batter first base. So if you're not, you know, sure that that kid just hit the baseball, and we got a couple of situations here that you'll be able to see, just send him down, okay? Send him down to the bag, okay? So let's, we didn't do a survey for this because I knew it was going to take long, okay? But okay, so you guys can see here that the batter hit the baseball here. Okay, he reached out with his elbow. Okay, I'm bringing him back. I'm going to bring him back on that. And I don't remember what the count was, but you know, if it was, you know, it might be it was a ball. So if the count's 2-1, then the count's 3-1. But I'm not going to give him first base on that.
Can you hear me, Victor?
Okay, we got 2 back-to-back plays here. So on this one, they actually they brought him back, but then when they went to video, they gave him first base. He did not permit. But if we go back to the rule, he did not permit the ball to hit him. That was kind of like an inside pitch that the kid just froze, and he didn't do anything that was wrong. So we're gonna give him first base on that. Let's see. This one is no intent by the batter to get hit. See what you guys think. I had a hard time with this one.
Give him first.
So they send him down to first base on this one, and the right call is to send him to first base here. I thought this one was we're gonna have the biggest discussion on this one.
No, I agree. Send him to first.
Send him to first. That's right.
Sometimes those little pitches, you just never know where they're going to go.
Yeah. Okay, so this one says unable to react to the pitch. Okay.
Yeah, that's obvious. Send him to first. He starts stepping towards the pitch. He couldn't avoid it. I think you give him first on that one.
Yes, correct. The correct ruling on this one is you give him first base. Let's see, that was 4. Yeah, the correct. They sent him to first base on that. He didn't hit the baseball there on purpose. This one's an easy one.
Yeah, absolutely, it's easy. Keep your ass at home plate, son.
Yep.
So yeah, so that one, if I mean that one didn't hit him, but if that ball hits him, he's gonna stay there. And in high school, that's just gonna be it's gonna be a ball. It's gonna be it's just
In
gonna
college,
be a ball.
it's charged a strike.
Correct. All right, one more, guys, and then we'll talk.
Mic working, Hector.
Yeah,
Hector,
Dwayne,
my mic-
working.
What was that?
Is my mic working, Hector?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Keep him there. Looks like a soccer player.
Okay, so something that we didn't have in all the other plays is, so let's look at, let's see. So we have a 0-1 count, okay? So, this is a pretty damn close pitch to the strike zone to me, okay? So if you were the home plate umpire and you thought this was a strike, then he is now going to have an 0-2 count.
Yep.
Okay. If you think, if the ball was somehow close to the box or inside the box, then you give him a ball. It's a 1-1 count. But by the look of it here, I think I'm gonna give him a strike.
Borderline, you're getting a strike, bud.
Hold on, buddy. Okay, so this is the last one and probably the most interesting one because it has happened to me like 4 times, and when it happens to you, you really like, oh gosh, what the heck just happened? So let's look at it, then we'll talk about it. Okay, so the ball clearly hit him, okay? But something that can come into play is the check swing, okay? So let's talk about mechanics. If that happens, of course, I know the first time it happened to me, I kind of just like, whoa. But remember, if you put your hands up, okay, and call time or, I hope you never say dead ball, but just time, give you an extra second, okay? The ball possibly hit him, okay? But you want to check. You want to check with your partner before you send him down to first base to make sure he didn't swing. Does that make sense? So on that one, mechanic-wise, I'm going to go time. Christina, did he go? No, he didn't. Okay? Or Christina said, yes, he did. Well, shoot, now, 0-2 count or whatever. But if Christina says like, no, I got nothing, okay, well, that ball, okay, you should go down to first base. So mechanically, that's the way to do it. Don't send him to first base first and then check on the swing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Before
Hector, can you just point down to first before saying time so it doesn't be construed or mistaken for, obviously a hit by pitch?
Well, I mean,
just reach over and point.
Santana, here's the thing with that is no matter what, you have a dead ball. It'll either be a dead ball strike or you're going to award him first base. No matter what, you do have a time and you have a dead ball.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's HBP, guys. Don't be scared to keep guys in there, okay? And don't be scared to call strikes if there's strikes. I mean, you really see guys going over the plate. if it's strike 3 for in high school, you get them. Boom, you're out. Okay, or you give them a strike, but you make sure you don't give them free. But remember, don't ever reward the pitcher for a mistake that he did or threw. If the ball hits a kid in the back, and don't ever say like, oh, you made no effort to get out of the way, or you hit the ball on purpose. The ball was gonna hit him no matter what. Send him down to first base on that. That's my training there. So let's see. You guys want to catch up on the questions? You guys can kind of unmute yourself now. Don't get out of hand, but just if you have a question on any presentation, either Dom or myself, go ahead and ask, guys. We got about it's 8:30, but let's answer some questions.
Hey, Hector, something that was going on in the chat room as I was reading it. Talk about that since on force play slide rule, that the pop-up or the violation of the rule did not change the play because it was well before the runner arrived, and then it would be a good non-call. You want to talk about that? Well, what if the coach comes out and that wants the interference? Where in the rule book you'd be able to back yourself up by doing a non-call?
Oh, well, I think it's illegal in high school.
Right.
So in high school, we got to call it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think in high school you have to call that. There's no way around that. Even though he didn't mess, I mean, it's pretty obvious he made contact on his pop-up slide. So I'm calling it every time. I don't think there's one time that I'm gonna not call it.
Hector, is my mic working?
Yes.
Okay, I'm the one that typed that. Let me explain. I think it was in the video number 2. I agree the rules first, and that's not what quoted in what I put in my text, is that I agree that it's a violation of the rule. What I said was, when it's so obviously clear that it did not impede the play, in that situation, if he comes up for pop side, then I'm starting to think more malicious, and it's not part of the force play slide rule because he did not alter the play or the throw of the fielder. It's a separate action because the throw was well away, and I wouldn't rule a double play when it was a clean play completely to start off with. It then becomes more malicious because it wasn't involved with the double play attempt.
Are we talking about the pop-up slide?
The pop-up slide where the throw was
if you have a shortstop, if you have a pop-up slide and the kid is in his gut, it's obviously impeded it. Like the shortstop's coming across, and like in that video, the kid popped up right into his stomach. Nail it. Right. It's a safety thing too. In high school, it's a safety rule, so we want to make sure we get that one on something.
What I was saying is, though, you could go for, like I said, the throw was away, and he did not interfere with the play whatsoever. He threw the ball, and the guy slid, and then he popped up. The throw was 15 feet away, 20 feet away already. I'm saying I wouldn't be going against my guys if they said, look, I ruled that it wasn't interference. He didn't impede. But I'm getting him for malicious contact because he came and popped up. He did not interfere with the play. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm saying that's an idea on the play when I see that. I agree at the play that's an illegal slide because he popped up. I'm not saying that you don't call it. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Maybe be careful with malicious contact.
Right. It's just bringing up discussion is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Any other questions? Let's see. All right, let me try and go back so I can see all your smiling, beautiful faces here. So I'm going to stop my share. All right, here we go. Guys, that's that's the 2 things that we had for tonight. Again, I'll talk to Dana and we'll figure out a good night for next week. It might be Monday night. It might be another night. We will continue our Thursday night happy hour calls, because I love those. Okay. You can never get, a lot of stuff from those guys, whoever it is, they're going to give you some nuggets and that you can put it to work. I will reach out to some of you guys to help out and do some research and, possibly present. There was a great, some of you guys brought up obstruction. So let's focus on obstruction next week. And then we'll figure something else, and then we'll do some mechanics as well. But that's kind of what we do, guys. I know that's not, sorry for the patients with the pole and things like that. But I hope that's kind of what you guys wanted. Dana, do you have anything for us?
I don't. That was good stuff. Of course, it was way over my level, but that was very good. I'm glad everybody participated, and it looked like everybody was engaged. So that's awesome, and I appreciate everybody joining on a Monday night special edition baseball webinar. And Hector, next week is pretty wide open, except for, I believe, Tuesday and Wednesday. So, but we can work. I mean, even on Wednesday or Tuesday, we could work around those. So. Just let me know when you want to set it up and we'll get to work on it. And I'll try to play around with the polls so I can help you manage all the stuff going on. So.
No, I appreciate it. Guys, I went to Dana this morning and asked her, because I saw a video last night on the polls, and I'm still learning, so we'll figure it out and we'll make it a little bit more neater for you guys. But thank you, Dana. Dominic, thanks for presenting tonight, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks
for
Dana.
Thank you both. Thank you both. That was excellent talk.
Hold on, too many guys talking at the same time.
No, what just happened?
John, go ahead.
Dana, do you want to remind everybody about the Part 2 exam due in a couple weeks?
Oh, sure. Good idea. So if you have not taken the Part 1 exam, or if you need to improve your score on Part 1, the Part 2 exam is open. It will close on June 30th. So if you need to take it, make sure you get it done before then. Also, if you need makeup for the district clinic, you can send a request to me for that and I'll get it to you. That also has to be turned in by June 30th. Thank you, John, for reminding me. Good job, Hector and Dom.
Thanks, Dana. Guys, thanks for, I see some new faces, so I appreciate you guys logging in. Hopefully I get to meet you guys down 3-man clinic. What's your question, Christina? Go ahead.
Well, we were supposed to have a 3-man clinic, so that was kind of, I guess, subsequent to the state clinic. So I don't know if that's something that we were looking to try to make up for, or that was just in addition to normal clinics. Dana, that might be something for you.
So anything that's more of like a camp requirement, because this was such a weird circumstance this year, we're going to be very lenient about that going into eligibility for state. So we kind of know that everything got thrown off balance, so we don't want to penalize anybody. So for next year's state tournament, we'll use the previous 3 years of camps as well, or previous 2 years of camps as well. So we're keeping an eye on all of that, but no one will get penalized. So, yeah.
And Christina, again, kind of like Dana said, but depending on, what happens with everything, there might be a possibility of a 3-man clinic in August or September. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Okay, Dana, thank you so much.
Of course.
Guys.
And I did record this, so I'll send everybody the link should they want to refer back.
Awesome. Adam, thanks for joining us from Missouri, brother.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
No problem, guys. Thanks for
Adam, you're
including
gonna
me.
have to cover a rule here pretty soon.
I was afraid that I knew you were going to say that.
Hey, I love the hat. Go Cubs.
There you go.
Go Sox.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you, guys.
All right,
Bye, guys.
good night, everybody.
Good stuff.
Yes,
Hector.
Hector.
Thank you, bro.